Ethiopia launched its third airstrike in a week on the capital of Tigray on Wednesday, as it steps up its campaign to try and weaken forces loyal to the northern region's ruling party. Tigray television, which is controlled by the Tigray People's Liberation Front, said the strike hit the city centre in Mekelle. Video obtained and verified by Reuters shows plumes of smoke billowing from the scene. Two witnesses and a humanitarian source in Mekelle say the strike appeared to be aimed at a major factory complex. The Ethiopian government said it had targeted buildings where Tigrayan forces were repairing armaments. Fighting in the nearly year-old conflict is intensifying.
I am very sorry for what I did, and I have to live with it every day. And that if I were to get a second chance, I will do everything in my power to try to help others. And I am doing this for you, and I do not care if you do not believe me. And I love you, and I know you don't believe me, but I have to live with this every day. And it brings me nightmares, and I can't live with myself sometimes, but I try to push through because I know that's what you guys would want me to do. I hate drugs, and I believe this country would do better if everyone would stop smoking marijuana and doing all these drugs and causing racism and violence out in the streets. I'm sorry, and I can't even watch TV anymore. And I'm trying my best to maintain my composure, and I just want you to know I'm really sorry. And I hope you give me a chance to try to help others. If I believe it's your decision to decide where I go and whether I live or die. Not the jury's. I believe it's your decision. I'm sorry.
Security was a clear priority at Tuesday's conference in Moscow, as Russia and other Central Asian powers seek to stem the threat of conflict in Afghanistan, tensions that could undermine regional stability. The Taliban says that security is dependent upon support from the international community. The Kremlin has led calls for providing international aid to Kabul in order to stave off economic collapse, though last week Vladimir Putin said that there should be no rush to officially recognise the Taliban as Afghanistan's government. Russia's delegation said on Tuesday that it expects the Taliban to uphold basic human rights and fight terrorism and drug crime, echoing the concerns of governments around the world. As part of the Moscow talks, the 10 participating nations called on the UN to hold an international conference to secure economic aid for Afghanistan. The United States chose not to attend the meeting, citing technical reasons, but has said it may participate in future rounds.
Meanwhile, in a small village in Pakistan's Punjab province, a man allegedly set fire to a house, killing his 2 daughters, one of the women's husbands and their 4 children, all because one daughter married for love. The prime accused is one Manzoor Hussain. According to officials, about 18 months ago, Fauzia Bibi, one of the man's daughters, had married against her father's will, who then allegedly burnt both his daughters Fauzia and Khurshid Mai and her husband alive. Fauzia's husband, Ahmed, survived. He, at the time of the incident, was thankfully somewhere else due to work. When he returned early in the morning, he came to find the house ablaze. Ahmed said his 4-month-old son, along with Mai's 3 children, aged 2, 6 and 13, had died.
After being silenced by Facebook and Twitter for months, former U.S. President Donald Trump said Wednesday he'll be launching his own social media platform, Truth Social. Trump was kicked out of several social networks following the January 6 Capitol Hill riots. In a press release on Wednesday, he said his new app is being created to, quote, fight back against the big tech companies of Silicon Valley, which he says silences opposing voices in America. Truth Social will be launched through a new company, a merger between Trump Media and Technology Group, or TMTG, and Digital World Acquisition Group. That's a special purpose acquisition company, already listed on the NASDAQ. The merger will allow TMTG to also be listed on the stock exchange, as well as give it access to Digital World's cash, raised from its IPO. According to the press release, that cash amounts to $293 million.
An aerial survey of the northern state of Uttarakhand shows large areas of farmland submerged. Heavy rain in the past 3 days has led to flooding and landslides, which have destroyed homes and bridges and killed dozens of people in northern and southern India. More than 300 people have been rescued and thousands relocated in Uttarakhand. Thousands of people remain cut off in the districts of Almora and Ranikhet after landslides blocked roads. The worst affected region of Kumaon recorded its heaviest daily rainfall since records began 124 years ago. Kumaon is on the border with Nepal, where around 50 people have been killed and 30 are missing after flooding and landslides there.
South Africa's drug regulator has rejected the Russian-made coronavirus vaccine, Sputnik V, citing some safety concerns the manufacturer wasn't able to answer. South Africa's Health Products Regulatory Authority, known as SAHPRA, said in a statement that the request for Sputnik V to be authorized could not be approved at this time, referring to past failed HIV vaccines that used a similar technology. On Tuesday, the regulator added that its review process was continuing and that it was still open to receiving any further safety data from the Russian manufacturer. In a statement, the Gamaleya Center, Sputnik V's manufacturer, called the concerns about the vaccine's vector completely unfounded. Protesters gather against police brutality in Manzini, Eswatini, a country rocked by a wave of pro-democracy demonstrations. Pupils and students of the landlocked nation, formerly known as Swaziland, have been protesting for a number of weeks, boycotting lessons and calling for free schooling, as well as an end to the regime under King Mswati III. On Saturday, the country, which is Africa's last absolute monarchy, said it had shut its schools indefinitely with immediate effect. King Mswati III has ruled Eswatini since 1986. The king has accused demonstrators of depriving children of their education by taking part in the protests.